spanking your children. Do you think it's abuse or discipline? The purpose of me giving you this speech this evening is to really sit parents down and to have them really think about the situation of abusing their children, disciplining their children, and what the effects may be in the long run. Now, I understand that it is their duty as a parent and authority figure to discipline their children, but does it always necessarily have to include spanking every single time? Well, a lot of parents feel that a well-deserved spanking on the bottom can be an acceptable way of disciplining their children, while a lot of other parents think highly different of the situation. Now, every parent has their own personal opinion of how to discipline or spank their child, and my question to you as a parent is, what do you do when you're out in public, or even when you're out at home, whatever the scenario may be? How do you react to the situation on disciplining your children? Do you take away a privilege? Do you go to timeout? Do you raise your voice immediately or make empty threats? Or do you just go back and resort to the simple old spanking? Now, I've heard a lot of parents say that they'll never hit their children, but then again, they'll go and get a broomstick, a hanger, a belt, so on and so forth to discipline their children. And other parents will say that they will just only spank their children in a scenario where they are trying to teach them a safety lesson, which I don't understand. Now, my theory is that if a child is taught from a very early age that if they don't follow rules, then there are going to be consequences. Now, as a parent, as myself, I've come to realize that as an authority figure, children know that you say what you mean and you mean what you say. Now, the only side twist to that is that you have to reinforce the rules. Now, let's get to the bottom of this. Spanking, hitting with objects, yelling, that can all escalate to mental and emotional abuse.
Church girl.
Well, Dr. William Sears is a member of the AAP, which is the American Academy of Pediatrics. And I forgot to mention that he is also a father of 8. Now, this man, he is a true firm believer that this type of behavior of discipline strongly devalues the child, and that the hypertension of the misbehavior continues to be misleading, and it gets worse. So this type of misbehavior devalues the child and makes the self-esteem kind of low. Now, another researcher, which is Alice Park, she's a researcher at the Tulane University in New Orleans, Louisiana. Now, she's done a short-term response research on 2,500 children at the age of 3. They were saying that they were getting spanked at the age of 3, and the research that was done came to the conclusion that by the age of 5, they were highly aggressive and they acted out more in public or at home. Now, to diffuse this, parents should start talking to the children to teach them right from wrong, which should try to resolve in the situation. And I'm a true believer of a timeout. So I think it's suitable for all toddlers, given at least 2 to 3 minutes tops, away from an angry parent and away from the toddler in a corner, which gives them time for relief and allowing them to cool off from each other. Now, versus the pre-adolescent, parents can take away privileges. But just like an article I read on kidsbehavior.com in the year 2008, what's the use of taking away a privilege when a child can easily have access to it? Or, in the case may be, why take away the privilege when you've taken away too many privileges and you and the child have even forgot about why the privileges was even taken? Now, a child only acts upon things that they seek or learn from others. Now, spanking a child might only get the attention from the child for a moment, but it doesn't really result for any answers. Now, Elizabeth Jersoff, she's another researcher, and she's a researcher at the Michigan School of Social Work. She was on Newsweek back in 2008, and she talked about how a child can learn that aggression is involved and getting things done your way, and that also pain is involved in a loving relationship. Now, everyone knows that a child can become difficult, but it is your duty as a parent to react on the conflict. So the best force for you is to take control of the situation and don't become a bully. Now, if you see yourself as a parent that is getting in these diffuse situations and your child is becoming controlling and you're abusing your children, I think you should seek help, and that's it.
Mommy.